To talk about the work in general, it's actually what I started out with is experimental filmmaking. So I'm coming from a tradition of experimental filmmaking. And then there is some sort of a break, which is actually also a continuum. So it's not just a break, but what I started to do is then work on installation pieces and do installation pieces. So there are differences, of course, in terms of the presentation of the work, because you have like experimental film usually was hosted at either film festivals or cinematheques, film museums, whatever. Anyways, it was all like a movie theater setup, and then installations, of course, are shown more or less in a gallery or museum's context. So then you have other spatial possibilities and other possibilities of presenting your work. But like one thing that's in common in terms of what I'm showing here with the older film works is that I'm working with something that's in the film world called found footage filmmaking, which means to make films out of old films, of pre-existing films. And then, like in the art context, it would be called more or less appropriation. So there are these two terms. But actually, this is like this thing that the old films have in common with the newer installation works. This moment in Pièce Détachée where the man enters and the woman is home waiting, is that it's very, very simple. So I should try my experiments with that. And then, of course, there was already the idea of the couple and so on and so forth. And then I thought, like with Passage à l'Acte, it was more like a conscious decision to pick this family scene. And I thought, well, it's good to continue with the family after the couple. And I also want to integrate sync sound. And so, like family breakfasts or dinners are very, very good in terms of the sound, because like the kids usually make a lot of noise at the table and all of these things, so you have very dense soundtracks. So then I got into the music part, because in Pièce Détachée I already used sound, but at this point sound meant like either noises or dialogues. And then in Alone there's a lot of music and Judy Garland singing. So I thought, well, I should work with this, with the music and also with the love affairs. He always has dominant mothers, like in the Sandy Hardy series. His mother is very dominant, and he always falls in love with some girl. And so I tried to work with that and include music. The piece I'm showing here, this is called The Animated, and it's actually an old movie, like a movie from the 30s, a B picture. It was originally called The Human Jungle. And what I did in this piece is that I erased some of the actors, and I also muted some of the dialogues. For the framing of the camera, for the editing, the human figure is very important. So in terms of The Animated, what I tried to do is take the human figure out of the movie and see how the structure works, the editing structure, the framing structure, when the center, the main part of it, which means the protagonist, is missing. So in this case I picked a movie called The Invisible Ghost, and I thought it might be a good idea because the idea of the ghost is already there, or of being invisible, and I thought I could expand on that with the erasures. So this was the idea. And then another point was that the movie is very short for a feature film, and I didn't want to make it too long, so the idea was to have like something that's about an hour long. And for a feature film, The Invisible Ghost was like a very, very short movie. What I tried to create is still a realistic image, but it's just the person is missing, so or it's not there any longer, but the background is there. But I did it together with a team, and we used digital compositing software like Photoshop. But there is software to work with a single frame with an image, and there's also software to work with a moving image. When digital media came up, there was always this discussion came up. What to do, what are the new possibilities of the digital, and so then this would be very much about programming or really getting into it. And so I'm also not interested in that. I mean, I have some artistic questions, and then I try to use the software or digital imaging possibilities in order to get the idea across.